And tonight's topic on Tactical Tuesday, be careful what you wish for, a reality check. And I'm paying homage on this one to the man who gave me the idea for doing reality check, the man who created it, Corsair Trainers. He is our special guest here tonight. And everyone, if you don't know Steve at Corsair Trainers, you're missing out on a lot. How do I say it? He pulls no punches, doesn't give any BS, calls it as it really is, straight shooter, a non-active duty Marine. Welcome, Steve. Did I get that part about the Marine right?
Yeah, you got that part right.
Okay. All righty. Al will be joining us here in a little bit. And I froze again. I love my internet connection. All right, so while we're waiting for Al, let's do a little roll call, see who's all here. First one in was Ryan the Gamer, another great little channel. Backwoods Law came in. Courtney's husband, that's Dustin. Gardner Josh. Everyone's chit-chatting there, back and forth. Frontier Survival's here. Bob 942, formerly known as his channel used to be Bob Metalman or Metalman Bob or something like that. He does some great stuff working with metal in his shop there in his garage. Maccabeus Everyday Survival. Shady Hills Homestead. Did I miss anybody? Mouse Toes is here. And I think I caught everybody up. So everyone, welcome. Hopefully we will give you some insight here and dispel some of the myths out there that people are spreading around like horse manure. All righty, so well, let's get into the little slideshow here really quick, and then we can jump into the fun. So
gee, I'm sitting here talking. I got myself muted. Do I get to say their names? Can I call out those channels? Or do I have to play nice?
Call out the bad channels?
Yeah. Never mind. I'll play nice.
Well, you know, there is the one which both of you dislike, and because of your guys' dislike, I went and looked at it. It's like, no, I ain't subscribing to him. All right, so before we get going into it here, just want to remind everybody, if you think this is good, share it out, let other people learn information, and hopefully they can get prepared so they won't be coming after your stuff and try and take it from your family. All right, so holy fear porn, Batman! There's a bunch of crap out there. And of course, seeing Dracula in the daytime is fear porn because Dracula can't come out in the daytime. And Freddy's only in your nightmares. He's not out in the daytime. All right, so what's not in your future? I really don't think this is in our future. Do you, Steve?
Okay, maybe, because anything could happen. Maybe
anything, possibilities.
We do have Portland right now, so
right. So, I don't like talking in absolute. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, could that happen? Sure, but I mean, he's wearing a mask, so it could happen. All right, it could happen.
Yeah. But is it going to happen all over the United States? All over the United States, everywhere.
Yeah, not anytime soon. Let's hope.
Yeah, and of course the movie series, The Purge, where they legalize one day a year going out and killing everybody.
I'm kind of good with that.
With the way things are going, that possibly could happen.
Yeah.
If they said, let's vote for this, I'd be like, maybe we should.
Yeah. But then the problem is, if you vote for it, what can turn around and bite you?
Oh yeah, exactly. But the concept itself is appealing at the moment.
Hey, how the garden? And Kalen Strain popped in here. All right, so what is your reality after SHTF or Milwaukee or whatever, the balloon going up, whatever you want to call it?
You forgot one picture. Of course, you may have it, and I may not know it. You forgot one with unicorns and rainbows.
Oh no, I didn't get you do the unicorns and rainbows. And actually, I saw one where the unit had unicorns and rainbows, and the unicorns were carrying AKs.
See, perfect.
I need that picture. You got to send that picture to me.
I'll have to see if I can find it again. I just saw it, looked at it. I almost saved it, but I didn't because I didn't think. Now I realize I probably should have put it in here. But yeah, I mean, some people are saying, "Oh, after everything goes to the thing, it's all going to be all the bad guys are all going to be. We're going to kill them all off, and it's all going to be the Emerald City, and it's going to be, yeah." I really don't think so, but so a question is, just where do you want to go? Do you want to go down the rabbit hole into all the possibles and all the wild theories of what could possibly happen? Or do you want to stay something a little bit more safe? Or are you planning on being a Mad Max wannabe, out there roaming the wastelands, dealing out justice? And okay, I see that there, Dave. I'll bring it up here in a second. So what is in your future, or the future of the United States? Is it going to be like this? Well, it kind of looks like Portland, doesn't it?
A little bit.
But the question is, who's making your choices? Do they know what they're doing? No, they don't. Or are they just telling you they know what they're doing? And this is a political statement, so you can take this for what you want. Or it could be a statement on what is being put out on YouTube and Twitter and Patreon and everything else. People saying, "Oh, you got to do this. This is the only way to survive. Buy my stuff. It's the only thing that will save you." And your reality? Is it what you think it is, or is it dream reality, what you're wishing for? Are there going to be people running around in leather, way too little leather for what the...
I just got to ask a dumb question. How did you manage to get a picture of Wes S. up here?
I'm sorry, this was a DHS satellite. No. But yeah. Yeah. And are you going to listen to these people that do go down the rabbit hole and follow them down into the rabbit hole, into all the conspiracy theories? Some actually sound plausible. And are you going to listen? And some of them are just totally off the wall. Or are you going to actually take off your rose-colored glasses, take a look at things, and realize it's just another day, and they're selling another dubious fear-mongering sales pitch?
You know, it's the only picture he had left up there was mine. So I guess I'll have to tone it down a little bit.
So it's time for a reality check.
Hey,
and here's Uncle Al. And let's drop back down here. And Dave has something here for me to share here. So I'm going to, oh, there you go. There's the unicorn.
There you go.
You know, it's a lot better than Survival Gardener of the fat guy going around in circle with a samurai sword. That was more funnier. Of course, the same outfit, but.
All right, let's see. Courtney's come in here, and I'm just trying to see who else came in that I missed. Ginger Ninja's in here. Yep. And going back up here. Okay, I think that's everybody else that has come in. All righty, so I've been watching Steve and listening to Steve, this gentleman right here, and he has some great playlists out there. Common sense, none of this, malarkey. and he takes an honest, down-to-earth look at it as a normal person with common sense should. And he talks about some really great things. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to him, subscribe to Steve here at Corsair Trainers. Great information over there. And it's even made me do double thinking on some of my thought processes to tone my stuff down. Wait, okay, it's not going to get like that. All right, yeah, it's really not kind of. I was thinking kind of maybe it would, but I realized you got to be careful what you wish for. You might get it. So, guys, what is your number one, how do I put this, pet peeve of fake doomsday? This is what's going to happen that people are putting out there. Anybody want to go first? I see Dave down there laughing. He probably has a list a mile long.
I can count off about 32 YouTube channels that are now well over 250,000 subs each, most of them anyway, who have people sending them money every month. Some people who are giving them their last dimes because we need to support this channel because they're giving us information that'll help us live, and they got all the qualifications when they ain't got qualification 1 to begin with. They couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag if I gave them 2 machetes, a samurai sword, and a dang bazooka. Okay? I ran out my backyard with my 80-pound backpack because I can. Yeah, if you watch the video, you'll see his house is like maybe 100 feet away, and he keeps trying to turn the camera so y'all don't see it, but he's full of BS. And he's also the very same guy, Barry Bennett, who said he's going to come and take everything you got because he can do it. I dare him to show up at my house. He better bring more than an army. I ain't saying what I got. I ain't the best. I might not even make it out in the end. But I guarantee if he's standing in front, he won't either.
Okay, wait. I just saw those. You have to double think, Gil. Steve's IQ is twice as large as yours. Laughing my butt off.
I got lost in the chat over there somewhere.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen here.
Oh.
Josh is poking at us.
Why? Thank you, Gardner Josh. I appreciate that.
Let me put it this way: Steve has an entirely different background set than what I have. He's been more in the trenches doing stuff. I never got into the military. I'm not going to go into reasons why. I wanted to. I aced the battery aptitude test, but things came up in my personal life at home, not my part, but other members, and I didn't get into the military. But I did marry a staff sergeant, though, who was in a squad, a unit of drill sergeants. But one of the let's get back into the bottom here. Yeah, one of the things that I really don't like. I wish I had Steve's language break thing to throw up there. There are a few channels that just perturb me no end with their BS they're feeding people on, and the sales pitch one is the one that we're just, saying, you need to buy, this, I got the greatest thing, you need to buy this. And you need, you join my Patreon channel and get you more information than I'm putting out here for free on YouTube. And the stuff he's putting out on YouTube, it's like, if I had a cauldron, the cauldron holds more water than what he's putting out. And there's several of those channels like that. So the reality check is some of these guys out there saying, oh, it's going to be this way. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be this, that, and the other. And you're going to need this to survive. And you got to get it from me. I'm a Boy Scout. Can you read between the lines?
We can all read that line. That's the world's oldest joke. I learned that in Eagle Scout camp.
Yeah, I learned that in Cub Scouts. But
well, I'm glad my son's not in here right now, so he don't learn it. So
yeah,
move forward, folks.
So Steve.
Yeah. All right. So
run with it.
Yeah, okay, but I gotta watch my mouth because I don't have my ability to cut it off, and I find that some people are offended by my mouth. Quite weirdly, the same people that think they're gonna become Mad Max and save the world from the apocalypse can't handle my how's it politely put, my salty language. There you go. That's how people have been saying it. Okay, so I guess the deal is I come at it from a different angle than these guys that sell fear porn. I'm not good at talking about myself, and I've been told it's a thing I need to work on. So yeah, I was in the Corps, and I did some things in the Corps, and no, it's not some secret thing. Here, I can show. I'd rather show you guys than say it. So I got my little love myself wall. Hold on, my cord's stuck. So yes, I was right there. Wait, where's it at? Right there. I was with Alpha 1-4, 1st Platoon. We were Raiders before it became cool. All that other good stuff. From there, I went to work in the federal prisons. So, oh my God, I'm a federal agent, cop, jackbooted thug, right? So, which is quite funny because when people accuse me of being a bootlicking, cop-loving, whatever, I'm like, hey man, I'm the jackbooted thug. It's my boots that get licked. So what are you doing here? You know? During the time that I was working in the prisons, I spent, oh shoot, let me think. 12 years, 13 years as an emergency preparedness officer. So unlike some of these other folks that talk about what they're going to do, there was times in my life that I was responsible for the emergency preparedness of 1,500 people. So I had to figure out, you know, water and toilet paper and food and all that for 1,500 people.
Plus the paperwork.
Yeah, and then the paperwork and keeping up with all that, and then, you know, keeping up with the secret communications that we had with DC because, you know, we were going to come and booty rape everybody at the first chance we got, and, you know, and all that other good stuff, right? And in case, just I will brag one thing, but it's not me. So when they had the incidents in DC, and these unknown federal officers showed up, and people got scared of them, and these unknown federal officers were laying waste to the less than desirable human beings that were there attempting to protest. Those are my people. So I'm proud of them. A bunch of those guys I saw on TV, I trained and knew and drank beer with and fought alongside of and all that good stuff. And it was funny watching CNN. And to bring it into this, the fear porn guys going, who are these jackbooted thugs with no identifications and da-da-da-da-da-da, and they just stand there and they don't do anything and da-da. Yeah, that was my people. So, again, I come at it from a different angle. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I mean, hell, I tried to do that Teespring thing and it didn't work, and I'm like, whatever, right? I can't figure it out. My thing is to help folks. And that's what I'm trying to do. So whatever little money I get is to pay for the website, the insurance, the other stuff. And quite honestly, I'm still using my own money to cover all that shit. Oops, sorry, all that stuff. Why? Because I'm trying to help folks. Hey, Will, how's it going? I saw the little hand thing down there. Sorry. I'm not living off this money, man. I'm retired. You know, so my motivation is not to scare the pants off of everybody and then sell them a Band-Aid kit that you could get for half the price with another company. And yes, that was a jab without saying it. So I don't know. So that person in particular, anyway, but there's some other ones too that's all they do. They sell porn. It's fear porn. That's it. And they know it riles people up and it scares them, and people get that adrenaline rush and they come back and they come back. And now I never intended doing a YouTube channel, none of that stuff. I actually, some of those big channels don't know my real name, or when I was talking to them as just me, not as the company thing. And I don't know. I'll give up one just because he's the biggest fear porn. That dude, Brad, I shut him down on a couple of his videos, and I didn't mean to. I was just like, hey, dude, here's reality. And he deleted videos that we had conversations on. And I was like, what the? Because I used to just, if I wanted something on YouTube, I would look it up, like how to can something or how to preserve food, the stuff I don't know how to do. And I'd look it up. Well, then when I started getting towards retirement, the youngsters, they were like, hey, LT, you need to get involved in this social media stuff. And I'm like, all right. So when I was on terminal leave, your tax dollars paid me to learn how to do all this. And I'm no good at it. So I think that's the big issue I have. And yes, Gil, I am so trying to watch my mouth right now.
This channel is not monetized, so then again, they can't ding me for it because it's not monetized.
Yeah, I don't. It's those bigger channels. Well, okay, flat out, there's a couple of them, and trust me, I did mention I spent a lot of time in prison. Right, that would be 25 years, by the way. A lot of them are just con men, and how do I know? Because I spent a lot of time with them people. They're just running cons on folks, and it really pisses me off because my group that I train with, and then my thing for the company is making less victims, and I just see these guys making victims of people. So as old Grumpy down there said, they're taking grandma's last dollar. Because, and they'll use whatever it is to get grandma to give up part of her Social Security check to support them. And it's like, man, you're just victimizing grandma. So don't sit here and try to, be holier than thou, or that you're some level of expertise that grandma needs to give her dollar up to you. Like, no, dude, you're a fucking con man. And there's a bunch of them that are like that.
Well, what really got me about that said person was they went to Florida supposedly to help out a veteran. They raised an exorbitant amount of money, and very little of it actually went to help that veteran. He pocketed. And the only reason we know this is because one of the people that also went down there to help spilled the beans.
Well, once at first I thought that dude was funny. And I don't want to turn this into a whole bitch session about the guy whose hips are bigger than his shoulders. Okay. Which, by the way, if a man's hips are bigger than his shoulders, don't trust him. So, but at first I thought that dude was funny, and he was playing a part or whatever. I thought he was funny. And then I realized he really thinks,
okay, mine are skinnier.
And the dude ain't been there. He ain't done that. He's playing a fucking persona. He's not the only one. The one I mentioned earlier, he talks about everybody bugging out. Well, when civil disturbances were happening, and then the you guys say something else. The code word for the thing that
Red Dragon.
There you go, Red Dragon. I couldn't remember how you guys said it. When the Red Dragon showed up and we had all the BLM stuff going on, he went to the suburbs, and then people called him on it. They're like, dude, you're in the suburbs. I thought you were running out to the woods. So a lot of these con men over the last, year and a half or so, they've been shown to be full of shit. And sorry, there's no other way to say it, because they never did any things they said they were going to do. And every day it's a new fear. It's a new, oh my God. I was waiting for the videos. I read an article about a solar thing. I was waiting for the 10 videos today on that. And they didn't show up. So I guess they weren't reading the news today or something. I don't know.
They'll show up tomorrow, probably.
No, you just missed it because DP Earthwatch and another channel that uses an icon that looks just like his, both were screaming solar foot or what'd they say? Oh, CME impact due on Earth, when the CME is actually about 90 degrees behind us. It's not going to hit the Earth. I mean, they do this. They do it almost every single day. They're right along with everybody screaming, oh, we're going into grand solar minimum. Alaska Prepper is one of those. And I pointed out in this video recently, he needs to start watching the sun more. And my comment got deleted.
Here's my thing with all these to stop bitching about other channels, right? And I purposely don't name them or anything like that, most of them, because their excuse is you're just trying to get on their coattails. And I mean, that's not true. Hell, one of them, the one whose hips are bigger than his shoulders, he tried to call me out when I made a comment. I did a video he asked for, and then he ran like the fat he is, right? He just, run away. But anyway, they claim to have emergency preparedness skills. They claim to have survival skills. They claim to have all this training and knowledge and all this other stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but rule number one of finding yourself in a bad situation is to stay calm.
Not either.
And I had to not say stay the fuck calm. Stay calm, right? Because that's rule number one. So if this is your lifestyle, if this is what you do, if this is your knowledge base, then you should know that rule number one is stay calm, because you make bad decisions otherwise. But if they can't even, so for you guys in the chat, if you're watching somebody and they're just freaking out they don't even know rule number one of survival. And that was like a Boy Scout thing I learned. And, I got told I wanted a real prepper because I did Boy Scout videos. But anyway, so, okay, yeah, I'll get off my soapbox on that.
Hey, Gardner Josh, my email is in my about page on my channel. Hit me up and I'll discuss it via email. That way we're not taking up too much time here, but I'll explain why I'm saying what I'm saying via email. That way you can understand where I'm coming from. I admit, for the most part, Alaska Prepper's got a lot of great information on his channel. He was one of the first people out there that showed people how to build their own Berkey water filter without buying a Berkey water filter. He has got good information there.
Yeah.
But it's the other stuff, that's the fear stuff he's been hounded on, especially a lot lately, that he needs to back off of to get back to where he came from. There's a lot of good channels out there that started off down to earth, and then they started getting all these companies sending them all this gear, and it's wish gear. I mean, You wish you could afford it. The stuff is super expensive, but they get all this stuff sent to them, and they're told, hey, if you want more stuff, you got to say it this way. So instead of being honest and real about stuff, they go read an article somewhere. Oh, that's what this is all about. And then they come out, well, I spent 5 years in the Congo jungle, and this backpack saved my ass 12 times. When they ain't never left grandma's backyard. Okay, that's the point.
Yeah.
These people don't know what they're talking about. They may have good information on some things, but the minute they start deviating from the real stuff into this other category and start getting people to assume that they know everything, and I can't survive unless I go out and buy a Maxpedition bag. I've got one bag that's cost me $100, and that's that one. And that's because it's my medical supply bag, and I want that bag as organized and as full as possible. The one for my back is a Mossy Oak from Walmart, cost me $35. I don't need a Maxpedition bag. All these people that are saying you can't survive without a Maxpedition bag are full of crap.
My son, who is an Eagle Scout with 4 palms, and then that was at the age of 16. Then he went on into the Venture Scouts and did a whole bunch of stuff over there as well. His favorite backpack is a plain duffel bag, military duffel bag with the shoulder straps. He packs he went through all these other backpacks, and he loves that thing because he can put everything in it. There's nothing hard on his back. And he packs it right, and he just, he loves it. And that's, he did 50 milers and stuff with that thing. And I got to say hi to somebody who came in and said hi to me. That's a Neil Stone, someone I used to work with. So over at the coordination center. So he's still there holding the fort down.
Hey, Gil. Mastos made a good comment earlier, and just to kind of touch on it with these whole beer porn things. Earlier, Mouse Toast said that they feel like they belong to a group when they interact with these personalities on YouTube, and that's part of the con man game. That's you're special because you're listening to me. You're never gonna hear me in one of my videos unless I'm being a sarcastic smartass say I like or love any of you, because I hate everybody.
That's why I keep saying
you just tolerate some of us better.
Yeah, that's it. I just tolerate some of you, and most of you people don't realize you're just here to amuse me or annoy me. I am the center of the universe. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I send everybody to Steve.
Yeah.
I mention Steve in all my videos, so they go over there and bug Steve like the hell.
And I have to give credit who enlightened me to mouse toes is correct, and that's why they do it. I was talking to Guns Coast to Coast, and having one of those text messages where it goes back and forth, and I was like, hey man, I don't get this. I don't get why people don't understand that a lot of these dudes are just using them, right? And he said, hey man, it's because they want to feel like they belong. And it was light bulb went off in my head, and I got to give Guns credit for that. Most of the time he's full of shit, but that time that was good to go, and old Mouse Toes over there just nailed it on the head earlier in the comments. I was scrolling back through them. Yeah. And again, that's, to me, that's just taking advantage of folks. I mean, people want to see some reality. Go look what's going on in South Africa. And before anybody wants to say, oh, well, that's a race thing. No, it's not. And even the people in South Africa will say it's not. It's political and economically driven. And they will be the first to tell you it is, right? I spent a good part of the day, searching on YouTube and other platform things, trying to find stuff. Man, it's chaotic over there. And all these tough guys that want to say, hey, I want, world without law and all this other craziness. And man, they're having it in South Africa. Get your plane ticket, head on over there.
I got it right down south of us in Cuba. Cuba's going through the same stuff right now. Even further south, Venezuela. Let's go to Venezuela.
Or Afghanistan.
Fire less than lethal munitions, which I might add, I caught a lot of stuff for when I said that preppers need to have some sort of less than lethal option. And people were like, no, you don't. I'll just get out on my front porch and shoot everybody in their freaking forehead. Right?
Fear porn.
Yeah. And it was, no, man, these dudes are out there shooting pepper balls. They're out there shooting 12 gauge rounds. They're out there shooting stuff that is not going to kill these people. But there was one video, and it's been going around everywhere now. I seen it when it was live. There was like 6 dudes walking down the street with the cameraman behind them. And they said, okay, go now. And they started rushing thousands. They said thousands. You could see hundreds of people in the video. So if they're saying there's thousands, I believe them, because I'm watching these guys rush hundreds of people who are throwing rocks and everything at them, and they're controlling them with less than lethals. Mm-hmm. So, wow, I guess that point was proven. But now you watch these other dudes, and the ones that can't even get off their couch, and they got to drink a 12-pack every night just to, try to obliviate the fact that their life sucks and they're collecting EBT money. They're going to say, man, I'm going to get out there and shoot everybody in the forehead. Well, nah, man, here's reality. And since that's what we're talking about, reality is you give yourself, things like less than lethal options. Well, they are in, and actually I'm not self-promoting, but I've been doing security videos, and this is where I'm going with it. There's without rule of law in South Africa right now. The police said, we are out of effing ammo. Protect yourselves, right? We're overran. We're out of ammo. Protect yourselves. So these people are finding less than lethal rounds. And then when rule of law gets reestablished, because it will, because the powers that be need to be in charge. So sooner or later, they're going to send tanks into the streets and all that good stuff. Then when the courts reopen, they don't go get Gil and Uncle Al and go friggin' SOP. I was going to call you Grumpy, but nobody hardly ever calls you that anymore. You guys aren't sitting in jail because you shot dudes in the forehead. Because in reality, if you hit a dude with a beanbag and 10 of them go, oh man, I ain't trying to get hit with that stuff, and they all take off running, you win. But the bravado, I'm sorry, just the bullshit that these guys ain't never been nowhere, ain't never done nothing, sit on here and run their mouths, and then they pump up the people that don't know. And at the end of the day, buy their special gear. And,
or make sure you spend $19.95 a month on our Patreon just to be part of the Discord group.
The only reason I charge on Patreon, which is $1, is to keep the trolls away. And it's been very effective. I haven't had any trolls show up. And unlike these other folks, because I've been going around looking at different people's Patreon, I don't just put up the same video I do on YouTube. I add stuff, make different videos, and anyway, I sound like I'm self-promoting.
Yeah, but
I don't like that.
But Steve, you actually provide true information. You're not trying to scam people out of money. You said it at $1. You know, these other channels are out there doing it for exorbitant amounts. They're saying, well, if you join my Patreon for at least X number of dollars a month, I'll let you into my Discord channel. That way I can keep people out of Discord. You know, my Discord's free. I dropped my Patreon thing. If y'all want information, I got a Discord channel with over 2 gigabytes of downloadable PDFs that cover everything from animal husbandry to canning to beekeeping to stitching somebody up. It covers the gamut of every bit of information you need to have. And if you don't go get it, it's on you. It's there. It's free. I've been paying for it for the last year and a half. I've been paying for all of this stuff. I get no support. I ain't asking for none. Don't send me none. I don't want none.
Yeah.
Point is, I'm doing it to help people. I ain't asking for nothing.
Dave, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Gardner Josh put in the chat.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Building a group?
No. Steve dances for super chats.
Oh, no, we don't. I have never caught you dancing yet. Dang it!
They allude dance. They allude to their skills. They allude to where they've been. They allude.
Dang it! I knew I kept
on the Monday morning thing. If somebody does, I don't ask for them. I'm awfully grateful when people do it. Sooner or later, I got to buy me a chair to sit here because this chair I'm sitting in right now is killing me. Yeah, people send me a super chat and I'll dance. Some people tell me not to dance. They tell me to just accept the money and shut the fuck up, and I'll do that too. But
that would have to be Anna then that says that.
There's a couple of them that insist I do a little dance, and it's funny, but
I must be getting
coffee. What other people already do. So,
and guys, if you want to catch a good 2-hour open chat type thing, Monday mornings. The Island of Misfit Toys, the Monday Morning Coffee by Steve. What time do you start that at, Steve? In Pacific time?
In Pacific time, it's 0900.
So 9 o'clock Pacific, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock Eastern. So, yeah, it's I just got between Dave's live stream and my live stream, the pop-up on it telling me about it for today,
Froze.
I got the pop up for yesterday's today between our 2 live streams. YouTube doesn't like me. They give me late notifications. Now, guys, I'm going to ask a question here on your opinion on something. This may be a touchy subject with the AI. Civil war in America to take control of it again.
Oh, Lord.
All right, here's a simple answer to that. Remember back to Virginia. That's all I got to say. Steve did a video about the Virginia
shit.
Wait,
what, say the question again, Gil.
Well, you got these channels out here saying that, the only way we're going to take care of this is to have a civil war. We're going to have, we're going to have the civil war. It's all going to be great.
Just go back to the problem we had in it was Virginia, wasn't it? Where everybody was supposed to go and make all the noise and their battle rattle and everything else, and a bunch of channels went and stayed at the very back getting ready to flee with their tails tucked between their legs, and actually they did absolutely positively nothing that they said they were going to do in the first place.
Right.
And every time they keep spouting that they're going to jump in their battle rattle and drive 1,200 miles and make a showing, they're the ones sitting at the back going, are they coming? Is it them? Okay, let's go. But you don't see that in their home video that they make. Oh, we're standing here toe to toe with all these people, and I got their back to the crowd, so it looks like they're with a whole bunch of people. If they turn around, there's nobody behind them, so they could be the first ones to leave.
Yeah. Well, I did a little research on this, and for the U.S. military and the Confederate military for the Civil War, the total number of military deaths was 624,511. And actually, I'm going to put this up here and show you guys where I'm getting this from. There, boom. This is United States military casualties of war on Wikipedia, and they list every Revolutionary War, Northwest Indian War, the Quasi War, first Barbary War, other actions.
War 1812. That's the
War of 1812, Mexican American War, Civil War, and it breaks it down the totals and breaks out U.S. and Confederate. And it goes through all the different ones. Spanish-American War. You want to know how many people were killed in a war on military standards, this is it. Now, interesting thing is, on this, when I looked it up, the number of deaths for the U.S. military until Vietnam was greater than all other previous military actions. A civil war was extremely costly to this country, population-wise.
Yeah.
And this is just listing the military, not the civilian casualties, when certain cities were burned or shelled and things like that.
Get disease. That was the biggest
diseases. Yeah.
Disease killed more people in the Civil War than both sides did.
Yeah. So, and they list that on here. They break it out, the different, things killing. Now, interesting. Now, I went and also looked up World War I and World War II total casualties. For World War I, the total casualties were, of all nations involved, were military, 9.7 million casualties. Civilian casualties in World War I was 10.3 million. There were more civilian casualties in World War I than there were military casualties. World War II, approximately 20 million military casualties, 40 million civilians in World War II. A civil war, let me drop this back down here, a civil war in the United States, in my opinion, especially with all the current tools we have to inflict pain on each other, the casualty rate is going to be astronomical, and it's not something anyone that has an ounce of intelligence is looking forward to. You guys agree?
Agree. But like I said, it's fear porn. It gets their jollies. When I first started it, I tell there's two kinds of idiots. Batman in the Boondocks, which I told Hubble's cat directly to his face, and the Rambo types that were showing off, I got this plate, I got this harness, I got 2 million rounds. You only have two hands, and you can't shoot a shotgun and an AR or AK through your teeth. Okay? Everybody was playing Rambo. And I'm like, are you nuts? Because if they catch you under the international rule of law, you're considered what kind of combatant, everyone? Nobody ever reads law.
Unlawful combatant.
Right. And if you're wearing a uniform of another country during the insurgency, you could get arrested and sent to prison far, far away. Or if you're shooting at lawful legal representatives of the government, they have every right to shoot you. This was a big thing in the Civil War when they had raiders on both sides, like Jesse James and the Union. I forgot what the Cornhusker, or is it something else? There's a Confederate word for the raiders on the Union side.
Right.
Because I studied the Union War. These idiots dressed up in their own uniforms and took pot shots at everybody until the Union Army came in, arrested everybody. They didn't care if you were a Southerner or Northerner, and if you dressed up like, what the hell is he dressed up? I'm a Zouabi. And that's the kind of look of professional army, military looking at these amateur groups thinking we could go out there and do a war. They had no idea. They don't even have a good supply chain. So when I hear this, I keep telling people, it is not a civil war. It is a communist insurgency. And they all look at me like, You're nuts, Uncle Alan. You're the kook of the whole group.
There's another term that people need to be aware of, and that's sedition.
Right.
And that is a term that's being thrown around Washington right now pretty heavy. So be careful of what you say and spout off to people about, because certain words can be taken in many different ways, as we've all seen here on YouTube. You say one thing, you mean it one way, and somebody else takes it some way else, and all of a sudden your channel gets shut down. So sedition is a word they're throwing around very, very heavy right now in certain groups. Of course, where I'm sure we can all figure out where that group is. So just be mindful of the things you say, do, who you interact with, because there's a few of the YouTube channels that we're all kind of frustrated with that are being labeled as seditionists right now. Now, nothing's happening to them, but if something does start happening, I really wouldn't want to be a part of their group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then reality sets in and slaps them in the face. Also, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm doing the Texas snow thing because a lot of people were like, we're preppers. We're all ready for the snow and blah, blah, blah. No food, no power, no water, no gas. And Steve went to get more coffee.
Sounds like an old song. No food, no smokes, no cigarette.
No coffee.
Yeah.
No power.
I remember the song. But.
Okay, because I've seen all these prepper channels like, hi, I'm prepping for blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at them like, no, you're not. You don't even have 10 gallons of water in your house.
Exactly.
How many gallons do I have in my house in my storage unit? Take a wild guess, folks. I live in a desert.
You got a couple 100,000 gallons because of the dairy and all those water tanks.
No, this is at the house right here.
At the house, I would say you probably have at least 365 gallons. So
I
you
have
got
a tool shed, and it has a cube that you use for gardening, Gil.
Oh, that's 275 gallons.
375 gallons. I
got
the big one.
You got the big one.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of blue barrels stashed all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm prepared. A lot of you guys don't even have 10 gallons of water. Or I keep telling people, get the 2-gallon blue thing at Walmart. You fill it up. It's a 2.5-gallon jug, and you put it on a water dispenser. No power. You just open the tap. Water comes down into your cup. Meanwhile, I see hundreds of people buying bottles of water. We need this to survive. Yeah. I'm looking at them like, yeah, you're nuts.
But see, the whole thing comes down to one thing. What we try to do isn't teach people the proper way to do it. We don't just say, go get 500 gallons of water. Okay, well, if you tell somebody go get 500 gallons of water, and they start looking at the price, wow, man, 500 gallons of water, the barrels are $50 a piece, or this and that. No, tell them, look, start off, go to Walmart, spend $15 and buy one of the blue 5-gallon jugs. Now you got 5 gallons of water. That'll last you for 5 days. Now, figure out how many people you got in your house and figure out what you need for a month. Then go from there. Start off small and work bigger. As a backup plan, just in case you have hard water or your water is not 100% clean, like you don't have true well water, go buy a bottle of bleach, pre-treat that water before you store it. 8 drops of bleach per gallon of water. We try to help people understand it. We're not sitting there, go get yourself a bunch of water. We try to instruct these people. So
I was helping Mama Bear
prepping
was going to be everywhere because she did that video for her apartment showing every couple of weeks she goes out and buys a couple of those cubes that stack and slide under the bed and stuff. They're 3.5 gallons each. And, she says every couple of weeks she goes out and buys several of them. Mm-hmm. And she was showing how they go. Then she showed the different ones. You don't have to buy a IBC tote, 275 gallons or 330 gallons to store your water in right off the bat. If you can afford it, hey, if you can find one of those ones that are relatively cheap that haven't had chemicals in it, go for it. But remember, when it comes to water storage, 1 gallon a day per person. That's 365 gallons per year. How long do you need to have water for? And then you have other things, issues. Well, I need to wash clothes once in a while. I don't want to be smelling like, bacterium from Dragon Ball Z and have everybody dying over, 20 yards away. You're going to need to wash clothes. Well, that doesn't have to be potable water. That can be, other water, well waters. You don't have to sanitize that water. So, and then there's, all right, so I need to take a shower too. I don't really need to wash my clothes. I need to take a shower. Well, sponge baths, you don't have to take a real shower. You can use a 5-gallon camp bag, and you spray a little water on, soak down, rinse it off really quick. Oh, you only used half the water. There are things to do and think about. You don't have to go out and buy, like the one channel was saying, I got this deal on these tanks where I can get you, pay me this and I'll send these tanks to you. And they're, 2,000-gallon tanks, and you can bury it under the ground and build a deck over it. And the price of he was charging for those was twice what it would cost for a normal person just to go out and buy it themselves.
We did a whole 2 videos on these idiots that were selling the buckets. Remember the buckets?
Mm-hmm.
And now, what was it? Kentucky Survival was showing me on his video feed $10 for a 3-day purchase of ReadyWise food. $10, 3 days. Nobody in their right mind would eat that. We went over ReadyWise, remember? Wise Foods?
Yeah, when it was, they had a bunch of bad batches could get out there that weren't properly done and weren't properly dehydrated or freeze dried properly, and all turned into black gooey stuff inside the bags.
Yeah.
All right.
That's another thing too. If you're going to buy prepackaged foods, and I have a fairly decent sizable store of it, as you've seen in my videos, I would highly recommend every now and again breaking out a bag, cooking it for 2 main reasons. One, to make sure that the stuff you got still good, because usually all the bags in one little tote are usually the same, and if one's bad, they're all going to be bad. So take it out. Second reason is get your body acclimated to eating that sometimes nasty tasting crap. Most of it tastes like crap. It's going to give you the craps if you're not used to eating it. So do yourself a favor and nibble on it once in a while.
All right. A couple things here real quick here. We're running out of time here. To tie on off to what Dave just said, in the side chat, Kaylin Strain, check her out. She does reviews of MREs, 3-4 a week. And she goes over different MREs. She opens it up. She cooks it, does it all, eats it right there in front of you, and tells you what it tastes like. The other thing is, Froze, jumping back a couple minutes, we were talking about, the Civil War and stuff like that. I've never been out in a firefight.
I have.
Dave has. Al, you were in the military.
I'm not talking about, sorry.
Yeah, and I know Steve was, and I know Steve doesn't like talking about what happened, did, and stuff. These guys don't like talking about what they saw and did in combat, because all the thing I can say, it was horrific. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't nice.
You don't understand personal fear and pain until you have to take somebody else's life. I've never taken a life, but I've watched people who have, and watched the hell that they go through the rest of their life, even when it was justified. I really don't feel like having to do it.
Yeah. And I have a great respect for the military members of my family and the stuff they did. And as an extension, anyone that has served in the military and been through combat. The closest I came was as a deputy sheriff, going into West Pittsburgh and to some of the bars there, and, drawing down on people and stuff, and having a standoff. It was not fun. And so those that are espousing, oh yeah, we're gonna have civil war, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be absolutely fantastic, they're full of shit. Pardon my French.
Well, on that note, Gil, they've never seen somebody take their last breath and they've probably never heard a grown man cry for his mama before he's dead.
Yeah.
I know that's, but that's the reality of it, man. If you ain't been there, it's all full of glory. If you've been there, it ain't fun.
Mm-hmm. There is I'm trying to remember it here, saying a warrior's prayer. We prepare for war. We pray for peace. We want to be gardeners.
Yeah.
That's why I garden all the time.
There's that saying that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're coming up on the end of the hour. Yeah. You were going to say, Al?
I was going to ask Steve, what do you got coming up? I heard you were going to do another video.
I got some of them I've been doing on the issue of security and breaking it down from the angles that are missed by a whole bunch of people.
Cool.
So,
that ought to take you about 6 months then.
I've loaded so far 3-4 videos, and I haven't pulled a gun out of my butt yet to wave around.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I love your video series and the way you work through it, and take it step at a time, and really train people about the topics you're going through. Your tabletops are great.
Thank you.
All right. So coming up here for Friday on my other channel, the Camppatton Family Compound. It's the Friday Night Homestead topic is going to be, what is the funniest things that has happened to you gardening or homesteading? So trying to lighten it up after the last several. And then next Tuesday here on Tactical Tuesday, we're going to be talking about alternate modes of transportation. So ways to get around. And some of these ways, some people I've seen around here are doing it just because it saves money on gas, the way gas prices are. So that's what's coming up. Dave, do you have next Tuesday's topic in mind?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off Steve a little bit. Less than lethal. We just lost Steve. He froze up and disappeared. But yeah, I'm going to go on less than lethal options.
Cool. And that's one thing everyone needs to understand is with these guys going out talking about shooting people in the heads, I'm going to stand on my porch and kill anybody who comes around, y'all. And Steve talked about it really good about less than lethal. There are now a lot more options that are considered less than lethal. And there are, how do I want to put this? Stuff that you don't have to register that can be lethal, or it can be dialed down to less than lethal, or replaced with less than lethal. And I froze. You put less than lethal rounds in it. So I know Dave's going to be talking about that. If you guys missed it at the beginning when he held up his Unimax, that's it. Yeah, that is a CO2 powered pellet gun.
No. This is a CO2 powered 50 caliber, less than lethal home defense weapon now. This is an 11 joule, not the 7.5 week stuff that they sell, because Amazon won't let them sell the 11 joule. Right. It's marketed as at the 7.5 joule. It's marketed as a paintball marker, which it can be used as such. But with the steel reinforced rubber balls and all the other options for this CO2 powered home defense item, it is a less than lethal home defense tool. Yeah.
Courtney's husband, a hammer.
Hey, if that's all you got to learn to use it. I mean,
Al's an expert.
A rolled up magazine with a rubber band around the middle of it makes a great baton if you ain't got nothing else.
And it's less than lethal. It's rubber.
And Steve's trying to come back in. Hey, Steve.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
my whole screen froze up, and all of a sudden it disconnected.
Yeah. So next Tuesday, Dave will be doing Less Than Lethal. That'll be very instructive. And Steve, if you ever decide to do one of the an evening live stream like this on a particular topic, and you want some people to come in on your panel, we'd be more than happy to join you and follow your lead.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. The whole Monday morning thing started out by accident. It was all freaking Will's fault because he wanted me to go on a live stream, and I figured a Monday morning everybody'd be at work, so I got on there, and next thing I know, everybody came in, and I don't know. I know the evenings are full of everybody doing live streams nowadays, but I don't know, if I could find an open spot there where I'm not, stepping on everybody else's toes, maybe.
Yeah. All righty, so we're going to wrap this up here now. Thank you, Steve, for coming on here. Once again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Steve at Corsair Trainers, go check him out. He's got some great – you'll spend a lot of time watching his videos. They're full of great information. And, he's a good resource for if you have a question, look up one of his playlists. I guarantee you'll find the answer there. All righty, folks, so we're going to wrap this up here. And I would like to say one thing here going. Okay, everyone, remember, stay calm. Don't get freaked out by anything. Just the reality check is, there's nothing going on right now to lose your cool about. Plan. Come up with a plan. Come up with options. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, whatever. If you have plans and something goes south, you're at a better mindset than to go, what am I going to do?
And don't call me.
Don't call Uncle Alice.
Steve or Dave.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
So, with that, everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next one around. Oh, and grow something if you can.